All right, family, welcome to the OG Wisdom Podcast with me, your brother Tassie. Gutto will be joining us soon. Today, we're going to talk about our first time going into Ghana. Our first trip to Africa will be the topic of discussion today. In the social media streets, a lot of people talk about Africa as if it's a backwards place. Some people don't even know that it's a continent. Some people treat it as, what can I call it? A country, a state. However, Africa is so much more. So we'll be diving into that as soon as my brother C Gutter come in, and we waiting for some more people to come inside, and we gonna get right to it. All right. Hopefully everybody's been having a good week. Things been working out for people in their favor. You- These are some of the things that we're gonna cover in today's topic. As people come in, we slowly but surely gonna wait for the folks, and then we gonna get right into it. Waiting for my brother C Gutter to pull up. Yeah, any minute as I get a lot of this stuff situated, activate comments. So you could give us a shout out, just say what's up, type it in the comments where you from. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow on social media, particularly on YouTube and Instagram. YouTube and Instagram. My first time to Ghana, I believe, was in 2016. And the way it happened was, I guess it was destined to be. Back in 2015, I believe it was 2014, 2015, I had a youth group, or still have it. We haven't been meeting as much, but it's called Party. Parents actively reclaiming their youth. And what we would do is have conversations with our young folks based on the knowledge and information that we had that was left by our ancestors. I would bring in books. We would cover current event topics. We would talk about the slave trade. We talk about laws and policies that are still in effect today that affect our teenage children. So with that, we would always have weekly discussions. We would have in-house research, and then once a month we would take a field trip, and we would call that field research. We go to museums, we go to lectures. On this particular day, I believe it was in February of 2015, maybe even 2014. Dr. Umar was speaking in Queens at the African Poetry Theater on Jamaica Avenue. Shout out to them. So we went there so they can see Umar speak live. He actually diverted from his original lecture and spoke to the children specifically. After that, he and I had a conversation, but we had met prior to that a couple of times prior to that. So he met the children. Upon then, I met a couple of elders, Baba Baba Watusi, John Watusi Branch, and Mama Eileen Edwards. And they asked me some of the places that I had took the children and what I was planning to do with the children. And at that time, the children had already met Professor Anthony Browder, who does the Egypt on a Potomac trip out in Washington, D.C. You ever get a chance, check that out. We had already been to the Great Blacks and Wax Museum, of course, all the museums here in the city. They already met Yasa Shabazz, who is Malcolm X's daughter. So my children were pretty familiar with the plight of Black people here in America. And upon meeting Baba Watusi and Mama Eileen, they asked me, have I ever thought about taking the children to Africa? And I was like, yes, that's one of the long-term goals that we have. And we connected. They said, well, you're in luck. We like to take children to Africa. This is our information. In the interim of us planning the trip, our elder Baba John Watusi Branch had made his transition. He's our ancestor. And Mama Eileen talked to me. She called me. She said, well, we still got to get these young people to Africa. We got to get you there also. So with that, we organized a trip and I went to Africa. That was in 2016, I want to say. I believe it was August 2016. Yes, it was Black August 2016. And when I got to Africa, the weather, the people, the climate, the temperature. It was so phenomenal. It's hard to put in words. If you ever watch Snowfall, if you ever watch Snowfall, and they had an episode towards the end where one of the gangsters, him and his girlfriend, who was a former crackhead, they went to Africa, in Ghana specifically, where I went. And everywhere they went, I had been there. And he had summed it up on how beautiful it is. I think the character's name was Cleon. No, Leon. Leon. And he summed it up. If you ever watch Snowfall, whoever wrote that for him, especially with me and our brother Gutter's background coming from the street, where it's intentional for black men to be turned into niggas. But when you get to Ghana, you feel like an African again. They tell you welcome home when you walk through US customs. I hear people say that we're not welcome in Africa, they don't want us there. That is not true. Until you get there, you're speaking from a point of ignorance. So when people say that, please don't listen to them. Please don't be discouraged because these same people have no problem with going to South America, going to Europe, going to Asia. But for some reason, these people have a hard time making a sojourn to Africa. And my brother Gut is here. Peace, Gut. I'm telling people about my first trip to Africa.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
It was beautiful.
Also, where was I? Yes, I was talking about Leon and Snowfall, about when him and his wife went to Africa and how they spoke about it, how it felt. And it was just crazy. Yes. Thank you, Nisha. Leon and Wanda went to Africa at Snowfall. Thank you, sis. That's their name. And the way they caught it, Gutter, the way they described Africa. Because when I finish telling this quick story,
Where
I
did
want
they
you
go?
to talk about
What country did they go?
your experience. I can't hear you, Gutter.
What country did they go to?
Yeah, there you go.
I was saying, what country did they go to?
Hold on, Gutter, because I'm on feedback from the other live. Yeah, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
They went to Ghana.
Oh, they went to Ghana as well. All right.
They went to Ghana. Yeah, you hear me, right, Gutter?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you
All
fine.
right. Yeah, the IG live was playing in the background too.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. So they went to Ghana. A BB for Hoodie, Sister Farnessa. And I was just talking about Gutter, giving our background and to get to Ghana and Africa and how welcome we were there. I know that was my experience once I came through the airport, went through customs, how everybody was saying, welcome home, welcome home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I also went to
They hear the
Ethiopia.
accent. Once they hear the accent, yeah. Once they hear
Yeah.
that American
And
accent,
it was like, welcome home. But the
oh,
food, everything was phenomenal. And I was talking about how it all came about. So Mama Eileen got me to Africa the first time in 2016. You know, we went to the dungeons, we went to meet the local villagers, we went to some of the tourist spots, and then we went to the grassroots spots, to the everyday common people. We went to the arts market, then we went to the farmers market, if you call that. We were in Ghana, the Volta region. I believe we stopped in the Volta region. We went to Cape Coast, and we also went to Kumasi, where the King's Palace Museum is,
yeah,
with
yeah.
Shanti
I didn't
King.
get over there.
Yeah, you know, and I always want to encourage people to go. And it's so crazy, right, Gutter? Because my elder Mama Eileen called me this morning talking about, just coming back because I haven't been to Ghana since 2019. Because of course, 2020 and 2021 was really the pandemic. So, when I
I,
got there,
I
the
think I got
love,
right after the pandemic.
right, the love and appreciation and the respect that I had received when I was there, it prompted me to go back in that February, 6 months later. Then after that, I just kept taking people back, kept taking groups back, because I think it's important that so many people are westernizing their thinking and we're taught to hate Africa. Now, as an African American, how can you hate Africa and not hate yourself? Because a lot of people operate from the
Well,
paradigm of self-hate.
and we got to understand. Well, self hate involves that, but then misinformation as well
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
because of self hate.
Yeah. But God,
because
I
a
want you to
lot of
talk
people
about
don't want to be
your
African.
experience
Hmm?
in Africa. First time you went to Africa, what was that like for you?
Um, bro, it was wonderful. It was like going home. You know what I
Going
mean?
home.
The feeling is like, yo, you fully relaxed. I'm not worrying about anything. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? Is like as far as everyday, the everyday microaggressions we get over here, we don't receive that over
How was it the first time you saw the police?
there. I ain't pay them no mind.
Yeah, when we got there, we had a police escort. But what I thought was crazy,
Yeah, when I say I didn't pay them no mind, is in the context of they was like everybody else. You notice them, because you see the uniforms, they got the machine guns and all that, but it's like
you didn't feel
somebody,
any anxiety.
yeah, like I'm not looking at them like, are they gonna fuck with me today?
Right. And
You know
that's what
what
it
I mean?
was for me.
Yeah,
It was
it's
like
like that's what I'm saying.
they
I didn't pay them
normal.
no mind because it was just a part of the landscape, as
Yeah.
opposed to America. Wherever you go, you have to be aware. As a black man, you got to be aware of the police, no matter what.
Yeah. We had some folks with us. And of course some people were still on their phones looking at the news. And I don't remember who was murdered while we were in Ghana. But to your point, it's so relaxed. Like I saw the police, they was happy to see us. They greeted us, showing us mad love.
Yeah,
And
once
then somebody was like, somebody got killed here in the US. They killed another brother. And I said, damn, I forgot they're gunning us down over in the United States. But in Ghana, that wasn't the issue because they still respect the chain of commands. Because you'll see an older woman chastise a police officer, and he'll put his head down like, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, because they understand culturally they're not criminals. And if the elder mother gotta
also it's
chastise the police
all
officer,
it's
there's
all
something going on.
it's all in, because they brusque. You know what I'm saying? They no nonsense and all that. But you got to understand is state people.
Exactly.
They're not policing. They're not coming somewhere where they already don't like the people that they police.
Yeah.
You know what I
As
mean?
like America.
Yeah. It's like they getting forced into somewhere where they don't even like to be there. So it's already antagonistic.
So Gutter, when you was there, is there anything that you thought Africa would be like, but it wasn't like that? Like something you learned or something that dismissed an idea you may have had about Africa when you first got there?
Mhm. Not because, like, you know me, Tad. Is like I'm really like I question Africans,
Yeah.
you know, about the, yo, where you from? You know what I'm saying? What people you from? Woo, woo. So I try to get a full idea of even though I ain't get there. That's just like with everything. You like to ask questions, but I kind of knew what questions to ask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I wasn't asking, yo, do they like me?
Right.
First, yeah. First of all, when I get over there, how many of them are gonna recognize me as not from there?
Right.
You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? Until they hear you speak, they not paying you no mind. That's where there is one problem in Ghana where, being that they don't know that we're not from there, they'll ignore us as far as dealing with business.
Yeah.
Because they're assuming we're from there, and they're gonna rush to the white people first.
Yeah. Because they see dollar signs. Because they
Exactly.
operate
You know
in
what I'm
business.
saying? Yeah, they operating off of, you know what I'm saying? They not assuming, because they don't even know where we're from.
Yeah.
You
And I
understand?
guess for me, when I came,
But
since I came here
It,
to go,
it, it was it was like me, I was by myself. See, that's the difference.
Right,
Like I was by myself, and
right. So you blend in easy,
yeah,
as opposed to me coming with a group. And check it out. This is, and I asked you this question because the group I went with, a lot of them never been there before, and they had this idea of what Africa would be like. So, they rocking the unks and all of these symbols look like tourists, almost like when people that's not here come from America wearing big flags, looking crazy.
yeah.
And some
Yeah,
people in the group was
everybody
super
had on
yeah,
dashikis, all the wood stuff, and none of them
yeah,
out
yeah.
there is wearing it.
The wood jewelry, all the
Yeah,
stuff.
none of them out there is wearing it.
Sister Farnessa, right? Um, wrote, their food is chemical free and it tastes nothing like the garbage that we eat here in this
Nah,
hellhole.
bro. Listen, mind you, and I don't eat meat, so I was eating fish. I was in Fontyland. I was on the
Okay,
coast. I was
right.
on the coast for the first 17 days, and then the last week I stayed in Accra. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to get a little, urban
Yeah.
feel. Like
Oh,
I ain't gonna lie, I started missing New York.
did you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the solitude was cool, but after a while, you want to get out, and like in the village, it's nothing to do. Like
Nah,
once it get dark, it's nothing. Like you
it's
want
like being in the South, right?
worse. It's
Yo, a
worse.
brother
It's,
asked me,
it's like being in the South when we was little.
right? That's what I'm talking. A brother asked me, he said, y'all don't have roads like this in America, do y'all? I said, you kidding me? I said, this reminds me of Charleston, South Carolina. The little
Oh,
shanty
bro.
house, the dirt
Oh,
road.
no, I'm talking about you'll see a pothole the size of a room,
That's what I mean. Yeah,
like a closet size pothole in the highway.
yeah. Yeah, because there were some roads we couldn't go past because it was
Yeah,
washed
and
out.
yeah, that's all they need though, bro. Infrastructure, like the
Yeah,
roads and all of that, bro. Because you'll understand how they can do commerce within the country. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Within those territories. I mean, really all over the continent. If the roads
Well, a
were,
lot better.
bro,
And see, that's
and
what's crazy.
but they have to be united in the sense where they want to connect all these roads and trains and all of that in the
But
continent.
they do, because that's what they was talking about.
Yeah,
Building the railway. Because when I went in 2016 and we landed in Accra, the Accra National International Airport, they had to bring the ladder to the plane. You had to walk down and get on the bus, and then it take you to the airport. But last time I was there, I think it was 2019. 2019 was the last time I was there. But I don't know if it was 2018 or 2019. They upgraded the airport. So
yeah,
now it's almost like JFK, where you get
yeah.
off
You
the
walk
plane
through the tube. Yeah,
right
you walk
into
through
the
the
airport.
tube.
Yeah. So I'm watching it. I'm watching it slowly but surely build, because the 4 years that I've been going back and forth, going every year. Like I said, I haven't been there in 5 years now,
But you got to
but
think
it
about
was
it. It's my
2019.
first. It was my first time, so it's just certain things you notice because we
Right.
yeah, you know what I mean. And we have a fucked up mindset when we look at something else.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because we think, you know what I mean? Because this is happening, it's supposed to happen everywhere at
Right.
the speed we want it to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But that's why I was glad I was on vacation because I wasn't stressing nothing anyway. So I was literally having no inconveniences because I ain't care.
Yeah.
I just was soaking in the energy, you know what I mean, from just being there. You know what I mean?
So the people treated you well, right?
Yeah, it was love, man.
Yeah. The food, I ain't gonna lie, the food was banging. Everything I ate, the
Bro,
chicken, the fish, everything was farm fresh.
bro.
The salad, everything. I didn't have nothing there that I did not like,
You know what
except
I
what
ate
I
like
actually.
3 days in a row? Red.
What's that you ate?
Red.
What's that? I don't think I
It's
ate that.
black eyed peas and red palm oil with fried plantains. You can add other, but bro, I just ate that
Oh, word.
3 days straight.
It
That
was
shit
that
was
good.
what? And this is, mind you, I'm telling you, it's black eyed peas and plantains, man.
Yeah. Now I was busting the plantain chips down. I was busting the plantain chips down out there.
But this is what I'm saying. This is a meal that I was requesting.
Yeah.
Like when I got to Accra, I met, shout out to my dude Wano. He's a rapper from Accra.
Okay.
So when I got to Accra, I went to the mall, the Accra Mall.
Yeah.
So my
The mall was lit, right?
yeah, it's like I was just, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I spent a little, I was just walking around for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just walking around soaking it up. You know what I mean? And it's so ill is like how they traffic is like in the hood. Like, mind you, on the highway, people is crossing the highway. You know how we do in the hood, the traffic going, motherfuckers is, just think about Atlantic Avenue, how motherfuckers shoot across Atlantic, catching gaps in the traffic.
Right.
Between the lights and all that. So I'm doing this daily going to Accra Mall because I'm staying in a spot across, like it's across the highway. I don't remember that street, but you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But you know, the kids is people crossing every day. So I'm in the group with them. Boo, 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 boo. They talking to me in a con or whatever, or a tree or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, yo, I'm American. Oh, welcome. You know what I'm saying? So it's that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I'll go buy some juice or water or something. Because the place I was staying in had a refrigerator, stove, and all that. So I was just hooking little stuff up, and then I will go. But he took me to that first place I wanted to go. I asked him, yo, I want red.
Let me ask you, who got better jollof rice? Ghanaians, Senegalese, or Nigerians? Tough one, right? Who got the better jollof, bro?
See, this is the thing. Being I never been in Senegal, Nigeria, but the best jollof rice I had, it wasn't even in America. It was with my pops. When we was in Paris, we went to a Senegalese restaurant.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't
When
gonna
they,
front, I love Senegalese jollof.
yeah, like they shit is fire, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it's
So
got
better.
that right nice type of heat on it. Where
Yeah.
it's yeah, that shit is banging.
Yo, shout out to Jollof Restaurant on Bedford.
Yeah,
They be popping. Well, you think there's right there on St. James and Fulton first. It
yeah,
was
man.
right
You know the
there. And I
kids and all that. I know the kids is grown now. They got to be in their 30s, 40s.
right,
Remember the little girl and the boy,
right.
or the owner of the restaurant?
The owner, yeah.
They grew up.
Right there.
They grew up in the
Right
hood.
there on the corner.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. So they probably be going back to Senegal like, I know Biggie and Junior Mafia, all of them. Because it's
Oh yeah.
literally right
Oh yeah.
there.
You already because
It's
they
literally
literally.
right
You got to
there.
think about it. They of
Before
an
it started.
age. The kids is of an age where they literally remember when Big was doing, like when dudes was outside.
Outside, right on that block.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They like, so they can like, yeah, we used to walk to school or pass by with our dad going to the restaurant. We used to see them. You know what I mean?
So you went to the dungeons also, right?
Yeah. I went to Cape Coast Castle and Elmina.
Yeah, I've been to both of
And
those too.
we went to one by Accra, but we didn't go in because it was closed for renovations. And Kwame Nkrumah's mausoleum.
Memorial.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
it was closed.
yeah.
Even though I got in there and took pictures.
Yeah, I went in there and took pictures too, even though they tell you not to.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I took pictures of the Cadillac he had. They got it in a little
Yeah, the blue joint.
glass house. Yeah, the blue joint, and then they got his his sarcophagus in the little joint. Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
a dude from out there took us like, yo, yeah, you want to go through his clothes, but I can take you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then, a couple cops saw us. They ain't run us off or nothing. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I'm saying. The police be mad chill out there. They not on that type of time. Even
Yeah.
though they do be shaking people down on the road, though. That's
Oh
how they
yeah.
get their whole money.
Oh no,
You
yeah. I
definitely gonna
got
get
shook
shit.
down.
You
No, I
definitely gonna get shit down on the highway.
I
Make no
told you
mistake
I
about that.
had some I had some flowers.
Yeah.
They taxed me for 500
$500?
US.
Yo, they got me for 40. They got me, and not even on the highway, gutter, at the airport. Because the first 2 or 3 years I went, I didn't take the yellow shot. So
Oh, the
the
yellow
third
fever shot.
yeah, the third time I was leaving, they said, yo, you come back without that card, we're not letting you in. So you got a certain amount of time before you could travel after you get the shot. I think it's like 3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
And you got to make an appointment. Yeah, anybody want to go to Africa, you got to don't play with that one because they might not let you in the country. They'll let you off the plane and all that, and you be stuck at the airport. Gutter, they got me. I came in, homegirl looked at everybody yellow fever card, then looked at mine. She said, welcome to Ghana. I can't let you in the country. I was like, what? She said, yeah, you're not supposed to travel for 2, 3 more days. I said, wow. I said, yo, I got all these people with me. I'm the tour guide. I brought these people here. I got like 10 people with me. She said, what do you want me to do? I said, what can I do? She said, I don't know. I said, can I buy you lunch? She said, let's talk. I was going to give her 50, but some said, give her 20 first. I gave her 20. She looked at it. She said, what about my supervisor? Gave her another 20. She
Bro,
said,
that was it. You said
okay,
this how I end up with the 5 is
walk me through.
I got caught by the sergeant. He was dead.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have paid as much if he wouldn't have been there. You understand?
Yeah.
That's what my guy that's what they was telling me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I had 2 dudes from Ghana, like I told you. My guy Wano, he's a rapper and a producer. Damn, 3Q beats.
Okay.
Yeah, 2
Shout
good,
out to them.
good dudes. Yeah, shout out to them. They from Accra. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they definitely gonna shake you down. They gonna
Yeah,
get their money.
yeah, they
And
getting
it was crazy because the
because
family I was with
they don't get
strong.
paid. They was explaining. He was like, yo, dudes don't get paid like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's how they
whatever,
make their
like
money.
if they they catch you for some little light something, you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when you first went to the dungeons, because I don't call them the castle, everybody's like, yeah, we're gonna go to the castle. I was like, that wasn't the castle for us. It was the castle for the Europeans. So for us, it was straight dungeons.
Yeah,
What was that like for you when you first walked in there?
airy. Cause
Yeah.
all right. I'm one of them dudes that I always picture a scenario in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like you can imagine, like certain, like, cause like when they tell you, cause you got a tour guide for the for
Yeah.
Elmina and
Yeah.
Cape Coast. So when they speaking to you, I'm just, you know what I'm
Imagine.
saying? Yeah, I'm just imagining. You know what I mean? When they telling you they in there 90 days, no shower, they gotta, you know what I'm saying? Women gotta deal with their menstrual cycles and all of that. They not getting no, pee, urine, excrement, food,
Right where
everything
you
is
standing.
right
Yeah.
there. So you gotta sit in there.
Yeah. You ever saw the movie Sankofa Gutter?
Yeah.
Yeah. That joint was fire. To the audience, if you never seen that movie Sankofa, check that out.
Yeah,
And
when
that was playing in my
yeah,
mind, because they did. I believe they recorded Sankofa at Elmina.
at Elmina.
Yeah.
At when they at the door, no return. Remember,
Right.
she went there, she touched the wall. That's when she flashed back.
Got transferred back into
Yeah,
right because she didn't. He kept saying I wasn't African
yeah,
when the shaman was telling her, "Yo, y'all don't belong here. This sacred grounds." When I was there, it was it's hard to describe, right, Gutter, but it was like a whole revelation flashed through my mind, thinking about how we was brought up in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like getting locked up, doing whatever we had to do out here to survive, and then going to the beginning, looking at the dungeons like, yo, this is where all our problems started in America and in the Caribbean and in the UK, with them locking us in these dungeons and then shipping us off to these foreign lands and then creating more laws to keep us locked up. I was thinking about, Dr. King, Malcolm X, Emmett Till, like all that we fight for has started from right here, started right here in these dungeons. And it really had me emotional, right? But part of me was happy because I said that we are our ancestors' prayers, because I could hear our ancestors praying that our children don't have to go through this. And here we are, African men with consciousness, aware of who we are and what we're doing here, in search to find our true identity and not be the niggas that this country has designed us to be. And I felt all of these emotions going through there. And I was just happy that we were able to walk out. Because imagine when you're in it, because they cut the lights off too while you were in there, right?
Oh, and wasn't no lights, and none of the joints we went in.
The joints
Like,
we went in, they had the light on,
we
but they
went in
cut it out.
we went in the daytime, and
Right, the little light that came on.
yeah, you all you getting is from, because they did everything from like any sunlight you getting is you getting from the sun.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
That was
And
deep. Yeah,
did they show you the
yeah.
the manacle hooked up to the cannonball?
Yes,
They will put the women.
yes.
They will put the women. So now imagine you in there in the baking sun. If it's raining, you in that, and they leave them there until they
Yeah, that
break.
was Elmina, right in the
Yeah,
courtyard, right in the middle of the courtyard. No
yeah,
shade, no,
yeah.
the women's dungeons. And then they had the one where they just put you in for you to just die. They had that one
All
dungeon.
the ones that kept fighting,
Yeah,
they put them in the one. They put them in the one joint, starve them. You can see
yeah,
the
you
gallons.
just going there to die. When they put you in there, what's so crazy? Because when I was there, I think it was the third time. It was my third time there. I was reading Baba Baruti. Shout out to Baba Walimu Baruti. I was reading his book Kabuka about the great Mayafa, the transatlantic slave trade. And in the book, he says, we don't call it a slave trade because a trade, um, it gives a connotation of equal exchange. He said we had the Mayafa, Swahili word for the great suffering. He said there was no trade. We were kidnapped. We were victims of human trafficking. And when he lined it out in the book, and I read that inside of the dungeons. In fact, I took a picture of me being at the dungeons, and I believe it was Cape Coast, at the Cape Coast dungeons, and I held the book up because there's so much about our story that we don't know, because a lot of times when we be hating on each other here in the country, we don't understand where that started and how this society has intentionally put us against each other, because we could think of all our childhood friends we lost while we was children to murder, not to sickness, not to car accidents, but dudes straight up hating so much that they will kill you. And that's some deep stuff, because the people who put us in these conditions, we dislike them, but we don't hate them. A lot of dudes, the first thing they want to do is be buddy buddy with them. As soon as we see each other, we get
It's a,
skeptical. And
it's
I'm
a,
not talking about those with knowledge. I'm
it's a
talking about
strange dynamic, is because it's not a love for them that eat like, and I know who you're talking about. You're talking the ignorant, the people that are not aware of the machinations of the enemy.
right.
It's not. It's a hate and a fear. So when you afraid, let me tap dance and get
Right.
so they don't fuck with me.
Yeah, let me bow down to whatever he say
Yeah,
because he got the
yeah.
power.
And
He
start
controls the rewards and consequences.
like like the example, I can't remember who I was listening to, but gave an example of why mothers will belittle their children. And
Dr.
that's
Joy DeGruy and
right.
post-traumatic
Yeah.
slave syndrome.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing. That's what we dealing with, post-traumatic slave, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
where she talk about we'll call our children stupid and stuff like that in hopes that people don't take them and sell them off, remove them. You know, like when she was talking about, she was talking to the white lady saying,
you
yo,
don't
your
want
son,
them to be targets. You don't want your them we didn't want our children to be targets. You know what I
right.
mean?
We didn't want them to see the value in our children because they
If
just
you
looked at us as an
gonna make
economic
them a
commodity.
target.
Right. So you'd be
It's
like,
gonna
no, he's stupid, he's slow. Yeah,
I
you
don't know
know.
what's wrong with him. Oh, when you
It's
know
funny
full well
that
he's fighting.
right. It's funny you say that because I
You
just
know,
saw a
if he
clip.
continues to fight, he could lose his life.
Yeah,
So you're doing whatever you know, his or her. You know, even
right.
because we had women that were the same way.
Right, and that's why I was gonna go with it because I just saw a clip of Roots recently. I forgot who posted it, but it's when they sold off Kizzy. Because remember, Bell and Kunta was old when they sold off Kizzy. And remember, Kunta gave her
He
that
was
name.
a
Kizzy
teenager.
means put. Because remember, Bell didn't want that African talk, and Kunta was proud. But they end up selling Kizzy because she was helping Noah try to escape because she wrote the past for Noah, and they sold her off. And Bell and Kunta was begging not to sell her off. And it was crazy because when you fast forward to today, when you know the story of our enslavement and you see how things work today with child protective services, just with the penal system, on how they remove us from our family. And they
Yeah,
have no regards of who we are in our family, whether it's the father, the mother, or the children. And
that
Howard Zinn's book called The People's History of the United States, he talks about that. He talks about during our enslavement, how society saw that our strength was our family, us sticking together no matter what they did. And that's why they made it a practice to break our spirit was to separate the family. Because one thing a lot of people don't know, and all of this is related to our culture today. Us standing on the corners in front of stores came during our enslavement after the Emancipation Proclamation. People were looking for their families. So they talked to the old men or whoever was hanging out by the general store to get information. Remember, a lot of people couldn't read and write. There was no telephone. There was no internet. So you went back in that area and said, yo, what happened to Gutter from the Donaldson plantation? And they'd be like, oh, he went that way. They sold him off to this way. And that's how we found our family. Because remember, before the internet, we either hung out on the corner or sat on the stoop. That come from our enslavement. Even pouring out libation, whether pouring out some for the dead homie is libation in our African culture.
yeah.
We
I
do a
mean,
lot of things and we don't know where it comes from. But
we
if we knew our
always
story, we'd
yes,
understand.
it's imprinted on our DNA.
Yes.
That's why.
Yes. So when they say why them dudes hang by the store, this is a cultural thing. This is how we exchange information. This is
But
how we found
even
out what's going
just
on in our
just
community.
just think about it. When you was in Ghana, where was all the young dudes hanging?
It was everywhere. Dudes was outside. The
Yeah,
young
they
dudes,
outside. But this what I'm saying is in them and usually they're by some place like a store, bar,
right, where
that
business is
type of
going on.
place where they're congregating amongst each other,
Yeah,
talking. You know what I'm saying? From the younger to the older.
yeah,
Like when I was in the village, bro, it was one spot you could see them shooting pool and all that.
yeah,
I ain't go in there because I ain't want to intrude. You know what I
right,
mean? I spoke to him every day, but I ain't want to just go in there and be American. You know what I
right,
mean? Just go in
right.
somebody's place, just like, yeah, this a place. I don't know if it's a private. There might be their own private little thing that they got going on. So I'm not just going in there like, yo, what's up? I can shoot pool. And they're gonna be
Yeah,
looking at me like I'm crazy, like, yo, who is this? You know what I mean?
yeah. Who is this dude?
Yeah, like
Who-
he's
But I
wild. Like,
think, but I think they would have welcomed you because every time I went, I was welcome. In fact,
no,
2019
yeah,
was
no,
the
no,
year.
no. This what I'm saying is when they was like, it was a few times they be like, hey, come. I'll
Yeah.
be like, I was getting ready to go somewhere.
Oh,
That's
all
when
right.
when like early, because it'll be early, like probably around at right after lunch. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So I eat, and then this is when we went to Elmine and Cape Coast. You know what I'm saying? Because the houseman had to call a driver. We had to get a driver to, drive us out there. Because you got to remember, I'm by myself. I'm not in a group or
right.
nothing
In
like
the
that. So
group of
everything
nothing.
I'm
Right.
doing, yeah, everything I'm doing is like
So that
personal.
was better for you because you're
Yeah,
not restricted by the group. Because with me,
yeah,
we had to go and people was just they didn't want to leave. They were just stuck in spots. And I'm like, yo, there's other things we got because with a group, you got to have an itinerary.
yeah. You got to have
You know,
itinerary.
organized itinerary. We had, shout out to my dude Saban and Daniel. Um, um, so many people, man, that was with us, that was part of the group. Sophie, who else? Who else? Lobby, this a Nigerian sister named Lobby. She was our photographer. She was super dope. Yo, she was haggling everybody to death. Like
Yeah,
everything they say the price was, she was killing them. I said,
listen,
damn, Lobby is robbing these people for us. Because
bro.
look, in our money, it was nothing. But
Yeah,
Lobby was like, no,
bro.
that's too much. It was like 10 US dollars for us, so we
Listen,
don't mind. Lobby was
this
like,
is
no,
on.
no.
As I want to tell you, when I go out, we go to what's the name of the beach in Accra? Lombardi, Lombardi Beach.
I don't know because they got a few
If
beaches.
it,
Like
there
Ghana
is
is so
what
huge.
we yo, bro. They got people riding horses. Motherfuckers doing fire tricks. They dancing. They're like, this beach
Yeah,
is. When I say lit, it's nothing like anything you can imagine in America. You know what I mean? Just the amount of action on the beach. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So we come out. Wano is hacking what to do. No, no, he want too much. You know what I'm saying? No, no, good talk. You want too much, man. No, 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 no. You know what I mean? So he like, man, I'm like, yo, Wano, chill. Let me, you know what I'm saying? Let
Yeah,
me.
let you do the one too. Because
Yeah,
we trying to help the economy too. Because what they might think is a lot to us, to them,
yeah,
it's not that much to us. 10,
yeah.
$20, it ain't gonna break our bank.
And I know how to budget. You know what I
Right,
mean? I know how to budget. I ain't gonna overdo it. I'm just gonna give them a little extra. You
right.
know what I'm
For a
saying?
level of appreciation. Because
Yeah,
in the interim gutter, that's what they want in the long run. They want us to come home and build. Real quick, I just want to shout out everybody on IG. I want to shout out Red Velvet. You know what I'm saying? Sister Red Velvet. I want to shout out my dude Fast Brooklyn Red Bullies in the house. Brooklyn Red Bullies Vince. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Fats. Shout out to my dude Lounge Low out in Shaolin, the
that's so.
Boom on the check-in.
That's
You know,
fast up.
yeah. That's Fast. Brooklyn Red
Yeah,
Bullies.
fast. What up?
Brooklyn Red Vince. Shout
You know, I don't be
out.
knowing all the Instagram names and all that.
Yeah. And you know Red Velvet too. You know Red Velvet,
All
BK.
right, all right.
You know what I'm saying? That's our sister Tashwa. You
Okay.
know, but I definitely want to salute them. Their comments is not coming up here for some reason. Only the YouTube comments are
All
showing
right.
up in the stream. But I'd be remiss if I ain't acknowledge the family who support us. You know what I mean? But yeah, we was doing a lot of haggling. But in 2019, right, was the year to return, gutter. So I got a group again. And
Mm-hmm.
they was trying to get their money up because there was so many groups from America. And I'm telling my peoples, like, nah, that's too much. That's too much. Yo, we got to Kamasi, right? And the people, was trying to sell them stuff because they run down on you when they know you're not from here, especially if you got a big group. This was crazy because they was like, yo, y'all from America, talking to the people. And then one of them saw me. They was like, oh, that's my brother Tad. Yo, all the dudes came mobbing because they remember me from coming every year. And they gave all of my people's discounts. They was trying to charge them mad bread, like almost $80 for the mocks. The mocks, not the mocks. The smocks. I'm bugging. The smocks. The material with no sleeves. You just put on
Oh
almost like a
yeah. Yeah, it's almost like a
poncho.
poncho. Yeah.
They was charging them like damn near $80. And I kept telling the people that's too much. I said, would you buy stuff from Times Squares? They was like, no. I said, that's what they doing. They giving you Times Square prices. Yo, when they saw my peoples blessed everybody. They gave them more than 50% off on everything. And they
They
was like,
on your
oh,
line.
Slim. They was like, yo,
Find out
Mr.
you're
Brown.
American, they are
Yeah.
on your line. Other
And
than
that's
that,
and that's the
other
thing,
than that,
because I keep bringing people
them
every
you other than that, to them you're a Ghanaian.
yeah, oh
Or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, or another African.
Yo,
You know,
real rap gutter. In 2019, God bless my mama, word to my mother name. They was gonna make me a chief in the village, but I declined. They was gonna make me a chief in 2019. We was talking about that for a whole year, but I couldn't do it. And they asked me, why did I decline? And I told them at the time I couldn't make that big of a commitment because I was already doing a lot of stuff here in the States.
and you'd
And
have had
then
one back and forth.
right. And then to be back and forth. I said that's too big of a commitment for me at the time. And I don't want to take that commitment and then disappoint. And what I did love is the chief understood that. Like the big kahuna, he understood that. He was like, you know what? That's love right there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's being honorable.
Right. Because I could have just ran around like, yeah, I'm the chief in Africa, I'm the chief, and then not live up to the obligation.
And
And that's
took
even
advantage,
worse.
and took advantage of that. You know what I mean? That position.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Sister Vanessa says some lady opened my window trying to sell me bananas. She scared me. I was toasting on. Yeah, yeah, they be on that. Yeah, Sister Vanessa. Oh, you know what, Sister Vanessa? It's still there. It's still there. They said whenever I'm ready, because what it was too is I was sponsoring the school through my mama Eileen and Mama and Zinga who transitioned. Peace be upon Mama and Zinga. And it hurt me right gutter because we took her remains. She was cremated. We had a dope service for her here in the US, but she wanted her remains to be buried at the school in Ghana. So we did that also. We had to exhume it though because you need special permits. So we did it, but then, after it was done, we had to re-intern her, which is dope. But Mama and Zinga had done so much stuff that right before the pandemic, they was getting ready to name a street after her in Queens, and the pandemic happened and that was shut down. And I gotta ask my Eileen because I'm gonna call her after this because we definitely going back to Ghana, you know. But I think this is something that's so important, particularly given the climate in the United States and with the open borders with the migrants. If anybody study our story, study history, listen to Dr. Claude, or even understand what has happened in the 1920s, 100 years ago, when they opened the floodgates after Reconstruction period, when we developed our own communities and towns, and we were able to outvote them, our bread was a lot better. It was so much we had going on. So what they said to the Europeans was send us your sick and huddled masses. And this is part of a story called The Creation of Whiteness. If you ever read that article, they sent for the Southern Jews, they sent for the Italians, and they sent for more Irish people and gave them an honorary status of being white. Because prior to that, the only whites were the WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants were considered white people. Other Europeans weren't considered white, but they sent for them, brought them over here, and gave them honorary status of being white and told them, yeah, y'all poor, but y'all better than them black folks over there. And they had their little Polish communities, the Irish communities, the Italian communities. And remember, they had got set aside. They got all type of land grants to develop themselves. And that's something that Dr. King had talked about when he was talking about we going to DC and we coming to collect our check. Because the civil rights movement that Dr. King was fighting for was something that was on the books for 100 years. It just wasn't being upheld. So the Dr. King civil rights of the 1960s was something that was promised in the 1860s. But then, as we see, that turned from the civil rights to the silver rights, as a lot of our folks like to say, because a lot of dudes who act like they advocate for us really took the pay cut. I mean, took the payoff.
Yeah.
Not Dr. King, and not Malcolm. And that's why they're so important in our community, because they couldn't be sold off. I mean, they couldn't be bought. You know what I'm saying? They didn't sell their souls.
So no
So
more,
a lot
man,
about
no amount of threats change their course.
exactly. So they had to be taken out. Unlike a lot of the quote unquote civil rights leaders of today, who we see hasn't done nothing for the community, not even attempt on their life really, because they bought and sold. They've been bought and paid for rather. And this is something our folks really need to understand, that there's a diabolical plan going on that we're not going to be able to vote our way out of. And we have to be serious about it. And we have to start looking at other alternatives for our survival, because it ain't just about us. It's about our children, grandchildren, and their children. So it's very important. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. Shout out to our sister K Fighter on the check-in, always holding us down. Sister K Fighter, we gonna get you on here soon. We gonna get you on here soon and let you run amok. Because our sister, you want to talk about history? She knows stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's my sister Keisha. She knows her stuff. Hailing from Fort Greene at that, by way of the East, who been working with the United African Movement, who's been down from day one, worked very closely with attorney Alton Maddox and his wife, Queen Mother Leota Maddox. May she rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of information that's being intentionally kept from us, right, Gutter? And what makes it dope is that we have the background, you and I have the background to connect with the streets, but also got the consciousness to move us from the streets and help the little dude that's coming from behind us. And it's not just talk, because we invested our money to go to Africa. Because I hear people always say, yo, if y'all really about the people, why this knowledge ain't free? Y'all shouldn't be charging people for lectures and events and that. And I always tell people, I got my library costs tens of thousands of dollars. I can't even tell you how much money I invest in books alone. Not to mention them flights back and forth. I ain't getting no free flight to Africa.
No.
One time, Mama Eileen did pay for me on my second trip. She definitely paid for me to go.
I don't understand where people come with that, because the Europeans charge you for information
all the time.
They charge you for misinformation.
Yeah, they charge you for.
They charge you for misinformation. Yeah, bro. People think public school is free, but that's your taxes.
Yeah, and them trips don't be free.
Yeah,
they got a fundraiser for everything.
Yeah, so you're paying for everything. You know what I mean? Like, even if you think about it, welfare, that system, people are paying for that, bro.
Yeah,
you're not getting that free. That's why that's why the Europeans be talking about, this my tax dollars is going to that, even though they're the majority of the people that's on, public assistance. You understand what I'm saying? So somebody is paying for this, and our people is paying for it as well. We paying for the Europeans to get on public assistance.
Yeah.
A lot of us that's working, me and you as well. Right now, we're paying
our money.
For some lazy redneck. You know what I mean?
And you know what's crazy, Gut? A lot of people don't know that if you hit your state's lottery and you was ever on public assistance, they debting you on a lot of that money, whatever they pay for, including food stamps, which is crazy. And a lot of people don't understand this stuff, So part of that is we have to unplug from the system. But before it can be physically, we got to unplug mentally, because we got to have the right mindset and know who are true leaders. One of the things me and my sister K Fighter constantly talk about is faulty leadership in the community. Because when you look at a lot of dudes who are going down now for the foul stuff, sexual misconduct, abuse to the community. I'm talking about physical abuse. SA, grapes, because YouTube be flagging if you use particular words, just so they can monitor. How can I say? Because so they can control the narrative, as if these things aren't happening. Me and K Fight have been talking about these people for the longest, and when we was talking about these quote unquote leaders, people were saying we were haters. But this is social media. People will hold somebody up as a leader in the community if they got a lot of followers and likes, and that's not a real leader. as we talked before, leaders have a goal and agenda for the group. Leaders don't work for their ego. Leaders work for the community. Like, all right, y'all, what is it that we want to do as a group? And everybody put their input in. And then we prioritize those ideas and then go from priority one, priority two, priority three, and so forth. It's not about, yo, send those donations in. Thanks for sponsoring this war. What war? What are you doing with the money that you collect? Now, me and K Fighter have done trips and events and everything. And I promise you, I always tell people we did a trip to the Washington, D.C. Museum, the Smithsonian, and the bus broke down before we hit Delaware. And everybody on that bus got their money back if they wanted it. And those who didn't get the money back, we said, yo, we can hold your money for when we reschedule the trip, or you could just get your money back. Nobody walked away $1 short, ever. Everybody got what they paid for, because we from the old school where it's cash and carry. If you invest your money in something, I'm quite sure you want to see results.
Yeah.
But a lot of these dudes with dashikis on, right, Gutter, they have turned it into an African-centered church where give me your money and you get rewarded after you die. Because you're not getting nothing right now. I'm not giving you nothing. I don't care how much you give me.
They pimping the game.
Exactly. They are pimping the game. And unfortunately, a lot of the audience, a lot of people, not our audience, because I only deal with sophisticated audiences, a lot of our people aren't in tune enough to realize that they being robbed, in essence. Because you ask me for money and you don't produce what I gave you the money for, you pretty much dead me on my bread. And that is the problem within the community.
We got too many people that deal with things emotionally.
Yeah.
You understand? Like you can be passionate about something, but you can't be emotional. You gotta look at it from a practical standpoint. Like, does this make sense? Like, am I doing this? Like, what do like you said, you funding a war. All right. Now, like, what's the basis of
This
you know what I'm saying? We understand that they're at war with us. You understand what I'm saying? And have been. But when you saying you're funding the war, like
what war?
Yeah.
We know there's a war, but
but
this war going?
Yeah, like where, like, and what area is this money going to fund the war?
And that's the trick right there, because they can never answer that.
You can't if you don't have a concrete answer for that. Because if dude's saying, all right, we're gonna build an institute, you know what I mean?
If we have a deadline.
That's concrete.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know what I mean?
Shout out to our brother Q Butter too.
We're gonna do it from a physical standpoint, where we training people, you know what I mean, mentally and physically, in order to deal with the enemy. You know what I mean?
Where's that?
Yeah, it got to be something. Yo, we
feeding the community?
We growing our own food and feeding the community.
Yeah, and you don't see none of that.
If you're not coming from the educational, you're not coming from those things that make a nation, then you're not at war, dude.
That's what Dr. Clark said. If you can't make your own underwear, you're not talking about no war. Dr. Amos Wilson said a lot of times we say that educated black men are acting like white men when you talk proper and you get your credentials. And what I love that Dr. Amos Wilson said, he said, you're not acting like a white man. He said, if you were acting like a white man, you'd be thinking about building your own nation state. You'd be thinking about taking over the world, because that's what they think about. They don't think about, quote unquote, just education. They think, how can I demonstrate my power? How can I take over the world? Because this is why it's called the race. And that whole term racism, see, when people say black people are racist, I will always disagree with that. because racism was created
can't,
by
I can't control, like my feelings can't control your livelihood.
exactly.
Like,
There you go, Gunner.
like my how I feel about a set of people, I can't control their livelihood. I can't
Right.
stop it. You know what I'm
But now
saying?
racism you can.
I can't put roadblocks in front of you in order to deter you from doing certain things
Right.
with my feelings.
And with a system to back you up. Because
Exactly.
when we talk about system, violence is the universal language. Because when you don't agree with my policy says I have a right to incarcerate you or murder you. And if you don't like that, change it. But know that in you changing it, I'm going to meet you with physical force now. Are you ready for that? That's how racism operates. Black folks, we don't have that. We have prejudices, we have dislikes, but we don't have the power because
We
racism
don't
as a
have a
system, as
system.
we
We
know it
don't.
today,
Racism is a
Carl
system.
Linnaeus was created by Carl Linnaeus and Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. When we talk about phrenology and things like that, these were created by white men to exalt white men. Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, he came up with phrenology talking about the shape of the skulls. And this is where white people get Caucasian from. Because Johann Friedrich Blumenbach said, since all skeletons are white, it stands to reason that the color of the original man must be white. And the most beautiful white are from the Caucasus Mountains. This is why white people are called Caucasians. The Caucasus Mountains is in an area called Georgia in Russia. Blonde hair, blue eyes. This is why we have this system.
Crazy was
And,
actually
and, and Johann
the
Friedrich Blumenbach didn't even really have credentials, proper credentials.
Caucasians he was talking about. The Caucasians that he got the quote from aren't even blonde hair and blue eye.
Right. No, this was
They're
his
dark.
theory.
Yeah,
This
it's
was
his
his theory.
theory that he got a quote from somebody else that said the most beautiful people in the world are Caucasians. It was somebody that traveled over there. Now, mind you, because he said they were the most beautiful because they didn't look like Caucasians. I mean, they didn't look like white people, like, you know, that complexion. They were darker than them
Right.
and lighter than Africans in a region that's closer to them.
Right. But this is the psychology
Yeah,
and
but you already know it's a psychosis
yeah.
because they always understood the fact that if too many of their women
Go for
don't
them tall, dark, and handsome.
go for the non white men, then they will be wiped out. They've been
Yeah.
knowing this for thousands of years now.
And that's what Dr. Frances Cress Welsing was talking about in the ISIS papers, her theory to the color conflict or theory to the color codes. I forget, I don't have the book in front of me. But that's what the premise of it is. They fear their genetic annihilation. That's why when we talk about mixed people, I'm reluctant to call them black, so to speak, because that's subscribing to the one drop rule. That's a westernized theory that if you have one drop of black blood, that automatically makes you black because you're no longer pure. That's where people get the misnomer that Abraham Lincoln is a black man because I believe I think it was his grandmother was a mulatto. His grandmother was half black, half white, which made his mother a quadroon, which makes him an octoroon. But one drop, they'll say you're black. But that's subscribing to their westernized theory and ideology, which we know really don't hold no merit because mathematically that makes no sense.
We already know is really on a look. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? No matter how light a dude is, if he got them African features,
Yeah.
then
And the gene.
he's gonna be considered black.
That's what I love. Something that Adam Clayton Powell said before. He said, "Yo," he was talking to the brothers about sweating white women. He said, "Yo, man, stop stunting them white women." He said, "We got beautiful women in our own race. We got everything from charcoal to chalk." And I thought that was so dope because we don't have to run to their their idea of what beauty is. Because when you look at their idea of beauty, when you look at the old supermodels, because it's only of the past decade that we've changed that paradigm with celebrating our own brown skinned curvy women. Remember, prior to that, in the 80s and before that, models pretty much were shaped like little 10-year-old boys. That's what they call beautiful.
Until they had black models.
Exactly. And they
See, we
seen
changed,
that that was
we
celebrated
start
more.
changing. We start changing. I think like the late '60s, '70s, when you
Yeah.
had the Imans and them, because you know they was crushing shit. Then Naomi Campbell. Then you
Yeah.
know, like it been sequenced, but you got to think about it. Look at their frames. Their frames were slim, slim thick.
Yeah, because they still had the little bubbles popping.
They were slim enough to be on the runway, but thick enough for us.
Right. And they seen the response that they was getting even from white men. Because when we talk about history, it's so funny. We got to talk about recent history, ancient history, and then we got to go into periodic history, depending on where you're at. You know, like when we say the antebellum South and the postbellum South, you know, there's a time when black women were celebrated. If you look at African Woman, the original guardian angel by Dr. Ishikamusa Barashango, he talks about how black women were celebrated around the world, not just the Venus Hottentot, who
She
we
was
know
by
as Sarah Bartman.
that was the first deification of
Exact. There you go, God. You know,
by
of just about almost any god.
by humans. Period. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you got to understand, when you go back that far, the only humans was black. So
Yeah. And they understood that. That's why Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates back in the days wasn't celebrated even in Europe, because they knew that they came with African teachings and it celebrated who we were. That's what made them some of the greatest thinkers of their time.
it's that.
They were our
Well,
children.
they was great to them because they liked it. It was their actions outside of the teachings.
Yeah, but we still know that they
They
was
liked it.
they
They,
really didn't like
that's what I'm
women
saying.
like,
They
yeah,
like little. That's why they.
little boys in them.
That's why they were celebrated.
Yeah, yeah,
Platonic. Got to
yeah.
understand
Plato.
what platonic means. Platonic
Yes.
does not mean a man and woman friendship. It means a love
You
affair
don't
between
like women. Yeah,
a man and a little boy.
that's right. That's right. And most people don't know that that's where the word platonic come from. Plato, Plato.
Yeah.
You just throw the NIC on it,
Yeah.
platonic.
So platonic
But it really comes from
relationships
Plato.
mean, you know what I mean? They
Right. If a man and a woman are friends, he's not sexually attracted to her. Why? Because he likes boys. And then we fast forward to 2024, Gutter, we can see that reemerging right now with how they're pushing sexual confusion on us and our children, to be more specific. Telling our children that you can switch your gender and things like that, which is not biologically true. And it's not so. And anything not in its original form is a copy and a knockoff. And it's not as valuable as the original. Like, we used to say the real McCoy.
the
The real
character.
McCoy was from Elijah McCoy, who used to make mechanical parts. And people tried to imitate that and make knockoff parts of Elijah McCoy's inventions. I think he had like 57 patents. But if it was a good thing, if it had real quality, we called it the real McCoy, because we always
I think he
celebrated quality.
did the steam engine.
I
And
believe so. Yes, that's exactly what it is. You got it, Gutter.
on
Yeah,
the
the
track.
steam engine.
And
Yeah, the
that's
steam engine. All of
that's
that
what
stuff.
that's where that saying came from.
Yes, Elijah McCoy. But a lot of black people don't know that. I know I learned that as an adult. You know what I'm saying? What the real McCoy is, but we always heard that, because this society will make you believe that we've been nothing but slaves and a problem to
This
society.
this is one thing I can't say about the South. The old heads used to tell you about, like, or any black dude in America, they could basically tell you, because the old heads like was literally there.
Yes.
Like, this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm around when I was little, when we was in Mississippi, I'm around people that's 70, 80 years old talking about, yeah, I remember this, I remember that. You know what I mean? And like I said, you got a good imagination. You could picture whatever they talking about. You know what I mean? Especially
Right.
when you see certain pictures and all that. So you can picture, you could take from that picture and imagine in motion whatever's going on. You know
Right.
what I mean? So
It's like we tell kids about the 90s. They can't fathom it, but you had to be there. There
but
was a different energy. Yeah.
no, but you show them pictures, you show them a picture and tell them they can imagine.
Yes.
They could put a lot together. And
Yeah.
that's all we was doing as young dudes when these older people would tell us about, yeah, nah, white people ain't start that. This man did that. This like, and you were hearing that. You know what I mean? And they still had the oral tradition was still there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The oral tradition was still there because a lot of elders would, hey, yeah,
Would tell
and
us the truth.
no, you can't go nowhere. You know that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at our age, it's not no you getting up and I ain't like
Right. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna hear what I'm
yeah,
telling you.
you have no choice.
And if you
Because
breathe too heavy,
you
you
get
get
up,
knocked
you getting
out your head.
smacked. Yeah, you getting smacked right back down. So yeah, you're gonna hear the whole, but that was the learning.
Yeah.
That was a learning curve that people, you know what I mean?
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah.
that goes back to, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's a DNA imprint.
Yeah.
Goes back to that old tradition where you're gonna listen, you know what I mean? And just through the culture, it was respectful that you knew not to get up because you was gonna be chastised one, and you had the respect to know not to
Right.
get up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all over, bro. That's in the Caribbeans and all over. You had those older people that tell people about when they was younger, or when they grandmother told them about when they was younger. You understand?
Clearly, because that was all about our survival. Because what our elders saw, they knew the reality, but they knew these people were lying to the children. Like right now, how we know people are lying to our children, and they're now passing laws to remove our story from textbooks and libraries and things like that, making this information not as acceptable. Because I saw in Texas, they were trying to change
It's not for us,
our
bro.
ancestors. They was
This,
trying to say they weren't enslaved. They were trying to
oh,
call them migrants, gutter.
this is the thing. It's
That's
not for
crazy.
us. People is beefing around the wrong thing. It's not for us.
What you mean? The removal of this stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Because it's
Because
not on them to
we're
teach
gonna
our children anyway.
we're gonna get taught anyway.
Right.
They
Right.
know we may not learn everything, but they was already lying to us anyway.
Exactly.
You dig what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's for the the Caucasian Americans, for them to come up. They don't know that. So it's easier for them to go into whatever the
The
narrative
narrative is
is.
because it suits them.
Right. Exactly.
And those who's coming here and look like, well, why black people didn't do this? Why they don't do that? Like people say, why we don't build
Listen,
our own communities,
it's,
but they never say that they destroyed
it's
it.
for it's for immigrants coming in, so they won't have any respect for us, and for the whites that's here. So those kids, even though they have to have interactions with us in social life, they won't know any thing about us. So they're gonna automatically assume whatever they get out of the media is what it is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No matter how much because you know they don't socialize well with us anyway.
No.
No, just notice when they do socialize with us, they try to act like us.
Yeah.
That's their form of socializing.
Right. Right.
Whereas, we can be ourselves, even though we will code switch for situations.
Right. Where it's warranted.
When it's warranted. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking to somebody that I know doesn't understand me or black people, period. Yeah, I'm gonna talk as articulate as need be, so he get an understanding what he's dealing with. Not
Right.
dealing with a dumb nigga.
Because in our culture, we have unspoken language, we have body language, we have tones and
Yeah.
intonations. Like,
So
what's
once
up?
that,
It
yeah,
means so much stuff.
this is what I'm saying. That's why I say
Yeah.
I'm gonna read his energy and already know how I have to communicate with him.
Yeah.
You understand? That's how we know how to code switch. We get the
Right.
vibe immediately.
Yeah.
For the court, I can't be, dig what I'm
Nah,
saying?
Your Honor, word up. Right. Even when you're talking to your lawyer,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Because
that's
one,
that.
one, one, we don't want them to have the automatic inclination that they already have that we're idiots. So they can tell us anything.
Yeah.
I want, this is one of the smart ones. So I can't just tell him anything.
Right. And that's why it's important that we read and study. And that's why we created the OG Wisdom platform for young dudes who may be in the situations that we were once in, just in the streets and not understanding how to navigate out of the streets, because we do this to help the little dudes behind us, just like the elders sat us down and kick it. But, now we got social media that is contradicting all of the right things that we're telling our people, telling our young children. And then again, you got these fake so-called leaders, people who are self-appointed leaders, who are trying to dominate the area and just get paid. People saying, yo, I'm doing this and I'm teaching that, but you never really see them in the streets. You hardly see them at community events. And I'm not talking about a community event just sitting in the audience. I'm talking about helping organize. Even if you're just folding up chairs, sweeping up, or if you a person with a particular skill set that you can contribute to the community. You know what I'm saying? Can you do a proper presentation? Can you speak to the masses without sounding like a goofus in the doof ball? Because I see a lot of dudes sit in their living room, they just hit that live button. And this ain't no knock on nobody trying to teach our people. But at the same token, we got to be authentic about it and not play with it. Because for a lot of people, this is just a game. They just like, yo, send those donations, send that cash out. Thank you for funding this war. Now, I ain't knocking your hustle, but at the same token, don't have nobody out there on no crash test as a crash test dummy, sending them on missions where they could get their heads knocked off. Because I've been seeing plenty dudes jump on YouTube and tell people they got to go out there and get physically violent with another group when our folks ain't even trained in nothing. All we trained in is bumping gums. But you'll never see them organize anything. I got my resume shown that I put my effort in. Every day I get up, I'm like, how can I help our people? And it don't have to be on YouTube. Help the people in your immediate circle that need your assistance. Everything you do don't have to be broadcast on social media. Because if it does, you're not doing it from the heart. You're doing it for kudos, accolades, and dollars.
This is the thing, right? That's what the internet bred, and that was one of the intentions, because you got microwave thinking.
Say that again, Gutter.
You got microwave thinking.
I love that.
You know
Microwave
what I mean?
thinking.
Yeah, it's boom. Instant. Whatever my feeling is, instant, and then that energy. You tune into that energy, and it's gonna reflect and bounce and pass. You know how that goes. You know what I mean? Just think about it. You walk in the room and you on bullshit, but your niggas is in there chilling. Soon as they see you on bullshit, what's gonna happen?
They on some bullshit. What happened, son? Yo, what up?
Exactly.
What up?
You see what I'm saying?
What?
So
Yeah.
now when people are engaged in other people's lives. That's what the internet been involved in, and got a lot of people engaged in other people's lives and invested in their life, that they stop investing in themselves, doing things that they need to do. And everybody, every almost everybody is a victim in that to a degree.
Oh, definitely. Because
Because
we
you get
social.
on get on yeah, you get on social media and you sit there for 10 minutes. That could have been 10 minutes you was doing something else.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's,
mean?
it's it's funny you say that, right, God? I'm gonna tell you a funny story real quick. One day, me and my man's we was chilling in my living room. You know, this when I was still on the block, and we was talking about not running outside as soon as somebody come in with beef. I said that's how we lost a couple of brothers. You know what I'm saying? Whether they got knocked off or got locked up. You know, somebody come in like, yo, I got beef with this one, that one. We run out there, and you know, when you're in the mix, you're in the mix. You could win or you could lose, and you got to be prepared for that. While we was having that conversation, shout out to my dude Drama, and I'm gonna put it out there. Drama came in breathing heavy. Get the guns. Niggas just slammed me up. Yo, we laughed. We laughed at him and said, yo, we just said we gonna stop running outside behind stuff like this. And my man that was with Drama, I don't remember who was with Drama. They said Drama started it. Said he was walking down Gates, two dudes was walking. He bumps Duke, and Duke grabbed him. Like, yo, my man, what you doing? You know, because they was some big dudes and Drama was smaller than. I mean, he put on weight and size now. Shout out to my bro. But it was just so funny because we just had that conversation that, to your point, about somebody changing the energy. We having a positive 10 of us having a positive conversation, constructive, and one dude come in with that energy and it becomes infectious. Because he came in breathing heavy, yo, grind the guns. Niggas just slammed me.
Then when they get passed back and forth, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
We could have went out there and
Because
hurt
look,
somebody or got hurt.
look what happens in a lot of these interactions. One dude to be on live, another dude to jump on his live, getting his comments. Now all the other people that don't have nothing to do with it start making comments and exacerbate the situation.
Yeah,
That is absolutely crazy.
it is.
Now, while we invest in all this time into nonsense, which is passing a lot of people time, it's just them passing time. It's some real shit going on with this situation. You know what I'm saying? That could lead to, somebody getting hurt or worse.
Right.
And all of this, neither one of them is able to live up to their full potential, because now they're going backwards. And all the people that's invested in this is not doing anything with their time.
Right.
What is we doing?
Right.
Then they take people that don't have nothing to do with these two situations having beef on the streets.
Yeah, because now it's on site. And I don't get that on
But this
site.
is what I'm saying. This is
Yeah.
what nah, come on, Tad. You get on site.
I mean, I
Hmm?
remember coming up, sometimes you get a pass. If you got your babies with you, if you with your moms, certain things.
But we got a different we got a different
Right.
all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like you got your babies. I might not like you got your mom with you. I might not shoot you,
Right. But
but
that's
you
what I'm saying.
gonna get socked though.
Right. Yeah. See,
You
we
getting
getting
socked. Yeah,
but
you
I ain't
getting
going to
socked.
do the 1-2 in front of your moms.
Yeah, but this what I'm saying is our on site was different. It's like, man,
Yeah.
wherever I see you, it's on.
Right.
On is levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing is from our generation to the generation now, a lot of those steps have been eliminated. So they
Yeah.
go directly from this to the
To the
gun.
extreme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to the extreme, to the
I say
highest
that
level.
right, Gunner, because I saw a video, and you probably saw it because it went viral, but it was in Chicago where homie had his two babies with him. They had to be like 6 years old. And dudes jumped out and did him dirty, left him there. And his babies had to run. And one of the babies stopped and was like they was gonna go back and not leave their dad, you know. And these are little girls, and I'm like, come on, man, what could have been really that bad? Because now these children are traumatized. and going to grow up on demon time. And it's a cycle that gets repeated. And to your
Yeah.
point about going from zero to the extreme, I saw this coming in 99, 2000 when they started doing sweeps. Remember back then they was going through whole projects, grabbing dudes 20 and 30 at a time and just saying, yo, your gang affiliation, gang. And I was looking like, yo, if all the men are locked up, who gonna raise the shorties? And that's why they missed that, because many of us was jammed up or fighting cases where it took pretty
But
much
that
took us
is,
off the loop.
this is the thing. This is where we make a mistake. We think
Mhm.
it's specific eras. It's every decade. It's just
Definitely. And
it's
that's why I'm
just
speaking for
we,
hours.
we just see it in a different way. It's the same thing was happening when we was little.
Yes. But we couldn't identify it.
Exactly.
And that's why
That,
that's why I can
that's
only
the whole
speak to
thing.
what I
That's
was
what I'm
doing.
saying. But this I'm saying, we as a people, we start pointing fingers at specific eras or decades,
Well,
and
not so much. Well,
this is where we not able to, because you got to understand is that's why I say we deal with emotions a lot.
no, but here's
You know
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying, and I
saying?
agree with that
And I
part,
mean,
bro.
I mean in a broad sense. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? We deal with emotions a lot. So something like that, oh no, nah, because now it was this to do, and then you blah 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 and this and that. We just got to understand, like, bro, this has been in place
That's
since
my point.
since the
But
inception of since they had to let us go. They ain't
before you
want
got
to.
to the shores of
Yeah,
Africa,
yeah, yeah.
before you
No,
got to the
like, yeah,
but
like one, no, no,
hear me real
absolutely.
quick, brother.
When they had to let us go, and they was like, shit, we gotta let these niggas go. Now
But
this when they start,
Abraham Lincoln
they
said that.
already had the joint where we're not them
Right.
set in stone.
But hear me
But
real quick.
now they had to make specific laws because we're free now, in a sense. We're
Right.
emancipated.
Pseudo freedom.
We're
Right.
emancipated.
Emancipated. But Gutter, here's what it is, right? Because once you grab the mic, once you get on the camera, once you got people's ears and audience, you are the public speaker. And when we speak into our audience, we trying to convey a message. And the only way to connect them is with something they identify with. Like we talked about Africa, we talked about the dungeons. Some of these things we talk about, people can't connect with because they haven't been there or had that experience. For some people, it's the first time hearing it. I like to take people to a point that they can remember and they identify with, because we got to go to where the people are. So when I speak of 2000, a lot of times some people were there and they can remember. And then from there, we bring them up. And when we get them on a level of understanding and awareness, then we could take them back to our enslavement. Then we could take them back to the rebellions on the continent,
They
because it got
still
to be a method to teaching the audience.
they still doing sweeps.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But
That's
when
what
the
I'm saying.
last time
They
you
was
got
doing,
caught up in one? When the
I
last
never
time?
got caught up in one.
Right. Or even been harassed by the
I was in
police.
jail already.
Yeah. Not to laugh at you in jail. That's a fact. That's a fact. Damn, Gutter. Hold on. You knocked me
That's
off my
what I'm
point.
saying. I see.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
All
I
right.
see things from a broader, way
Shout
broader.
out to
Because
Cook Trey.
when you look at it, bro, it's no place and it's no era and no city where they wasn't having a broad sweep of niggas.
Right. I agree. But here's what I'm saying, Gutter. The mindset of being in that environment of, and not just saying being in an environment, I'm saying, how do you learn how to avoid these things? Because it's the OG wisdom. What did we learn in our lifespan? Not what we read. We incorporate what we read, but shit, man, you done been through some shit. We done
Well,
been locked up. We done been to the dungeons in Africa. We done met master teachers and all kinds of stuff. We've been, Gutter, our story could have ended years ago. We could have been knocked off or still locked up, just removed out the game. And what I'm
nah,
saying
yeah.
is, a lot of times I want people to go back to their life and reflect on some of these things we talk about to get them at the pivot point. Because inherently, all of us ain't grow up like this per se. Some of us, something had to happen to trigger this warrior in some of us. Like the warrior's in there, but the things that we did in the hood, it's not like our parents told us to go out there and do it. It's things
No.
that we've done based on our environment, based on our surroundings. So what I like to do is get people where they at, because I'm not just an old dude talking. I done been on both ends of the hammer. I done been on both ends. And my story could have ended anyway a long time ago. I could have
Yeah.
still been in the can, or I could have been pushing daisies right now. But
But
what was
this,
the pivotal point that
I
turned me
mean,
into a community man?
but this is the thing
And
too.
that's what
It's
we want
like
to get to people.
we can give people like, because I is like I can't even tell you why I'm still here. Like it's not no great, you know what I'm saying?
Because you got value, gutter. You got value. You got
Is
a lot to teach before you
no,
leave.
what I'm saying is it's no great strategy or anything that got me through everything that I went through. That's what I'm
Nah,
saying. Like,
gutter. Hold on, hold
nah,
on,
it was
hold
no
on.
great strategy.
Nah, you
It
know
was
what?
just
It don't seem like a strategy to you, but think about it. You've been through the trenches. See, the life that you and I lived, and like I always say, you are great above me when it comes to the street shit. You look at a lot of dudes, they wish they had our reputation. They wish they were able to do the things we do and then still walk with our head high. Can't nobody call you no chump or no sucker, no matter when they met you.
no, but this is what I'm
They can't,
saying.
but
But
what,
it was
hear me, gutter, hear me. What we have as balagoons, as men of valor and honor, it is a strategy. It's so innate in you, you don't see it as such. But you walk a blueprint. That's why you could command an army, because it's easy to you, but it's difficult to other people. It's like a person who's a prodigy with something.
the
You
thing.
like, yo, how you know how to play
Far
the
from
drums? How you know how to
that's
play the
this the
guitar? It's
thing.
easy.
It was far from easy. That's what I'm saying. It was no. That's why I'm saying it's like it's far like bro. Like it had been times like ass whippings back to back. You know what I'm saying? It's like coming up, boop, this dude, boop, 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 boop. Even though a lot of the dudes I was fighting were older than me. You know what I
Right.
mean? It was just that I think it what came into play is I got three older sisters. So everything started with my supposed protection of them, even though they 3, 4, and 7 years older than me. How
Right.
it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how I like made that math,
Right.
but it wasn't gonna never math anyway until I got to a certain age, and then like the 3 years and the 4 years really didn't matter. We all of a certain age of a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying is like it was no like, bro, shit was rough.
Yeah. You know, for me, right, I didn't see it as a strategy until I got older and got sat on time out and had the time to think about it. Because when we were kids, our uncles and our pops used to always buy all of us boxing gloves, have us sit in the middle of the living room, duke it out. And then we were taught that, yo, nobody penetrate this circle. Me and my brother, my cousins, all of us, we had to duke it out. It just happened I was one of the nicer ones because I was me. But I didn't see it as a strategy when I was a kid. But as I got older, my uncles would always call me, somebody messing with your cousin, I need you to tighten them up. I'll be on the boat going to Staten Island. I'll be at Atlantic terminals, wherever my
Nah,
cousins
nah.
is at.
Hold up. Who was this strategy established by? It wasn't by you. That's what I'm saying.
Right. But I
It was
learned to implement it
it was
because none of them
it was
done what I was
it
able to
was
do.
it was something that was passed down as just part of the heritage. That's like some people like you gotta, like I said, the reason I probably went the route that I went because I didn't have no older brothers. I didn't have no brothers where we in all I got is three older sisters. So now I gotta learn how to fight by getting beat up because I don't got nobody older than me to teach me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a
Right.
different, like it's no strategy. It's just like, damn, I gotta learn everything by myself to
Yeah.
be like as a dude.
But
Like
that's what
I,
I'm
I
saying.
could
That's
take
part of the
I could
strategy.
take
How do I
you,
survive?
huh?
That's what I'm saying. That's your strategy. How do I got to learn this? I got to learn that because now when problems come, you know how to deal with it. You know how to face it. You know how to meet your challenges. And that's all the strategy is. How am I going to approach this problem? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this no grandiose strategy where you sat down and planned
Yeah,
and
that's
wrote
what
it
I
out.
said. It's no
Because
great
you gotta have
strategy. It's just that you figure out what you gotta do.
yeah, and
It's
a
not
lot of
necessarily, it's not no
right,
necessarily like, bro, many times I done came out of school knowing I gotta fight somebody, don't want to fight them. I feel they're gonna whoop my ass. You know what I mean? But I go and fight them anyway. It's just you know you gotta do it because if you don't go and fight this dude, he's gonna whoop your ass every day anyway.
right,
Then that you see what I'm saying, it's gonna be everyday ass whipping. Instead of if I do get my ass whooped, it's gonna be because he's gonna get all he's gonna get all the fight that I got to give him.
yeah,
He just won. You dig what I'm
yeah.
saying? As opposed to
Just
me,
beating your ass.
yeah, just letting him whoop my ass or me running, then he gonna be chasing me every day. Nah, I
Yeah.
ain't, I
Nah,
was a
yeah, that
track
was
star.
me in
I ain't
258
trying,
on
yeah,
freshman
I ain't
Friday.
trying to do that one.
Yeah, 258. I couldn't run home in freshman Friday. I remember homie mushed me and everything. I said, yo, if I run today, I'll be running for the rest of the time I'm
That's what
here.
I'm saying. So it's like
And
that's why
freshman Friday, there was no freshman Friday in public school.
no
I
great.
never,
It's no. It's always a freshman Friday.
not in public
Whatever,
school.
whatever the smallest dudes is the ones that get herbed every Friday.
Well,
That's in,
I only got
that's in
introduced to
every
that in
public
high
school.
school and junior high school.
But that's what I'm saying. That's is like in public school is worse
In public school, I was terrible.
because damn near is like the second graders bully the first graders, the third graders bully the second graders. You know what I'm saying? Unless you like, you got some dudes that family just bully the whole school, especially if you down south.
Well, like I said,
I lived in Mississippi. Like
nah,
you might have a family. They got like 10 brothers and sisters,
yeah,
all grades, and
yeah,
all of them is with the business.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You got
All of them
somebody
like
for you,
fight.
no matter your
Yeah,
size.
all of them like fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not my freshman Friday. I fought and I plugged Duke out something serious because I was scared of him. I ain't gonna lie. I was
Yeah,
12 years old, but I knew how to fight. That wasn't the thing. Was he was from Bada School? He lived closer to the school than me. You know, the school's up on Marcy. I mean, that's a nice little run home. That's about a mile run from Marcy to the way. That's 1 mile. I'm not running. I'm not running from Marcy to Washington. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, on Marcy and Halsey.
that's
Yeah,
Tompkins.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Between Tompkins,
Marcy and
yeah,
Marcy. Yeah. You're right.
yeah. Marcy is closer into us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the entrance,
Halsey
the
was
entrance, the
main
entrance is
office
on
in
Marcy.
Marcy.
The entrance on Marcy.
Tompkins,
The park entrance is on Tompkins.
right? But the school
You
is
know,
at the corner of
yeah,
Marcy.
we had a little situation over there. All bad.
As a kid,
No.
teenager or adult, young adult.
Very young adult.
Yeah,
Teenage.
that's what I'm
Just
saying. It went down over there. You know, the eight
teenage
ball was
adult.
crazy.
Nah, it wasn't no fighting.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why I was. I'm like, yo, this dude know everybody. And the two dudes I came to the school with, they wasn't built like that because I used to have to fight for them in public school. I used to defend them, but I plucked Duke out.
Oh, that would have
Everybody
been
said,
like
"All right,
that
start
would
the
have been
fight,"
like
and no
in
problem.
my era. Damn, who was the who? It was Blacko.
From
I
Nostrand,
wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't staying up here, but everybody like because O used to go to 258. He used to
right?
always talk about Blacko coming up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, messing with everybody. Like everybody from the school would go get him. You know what I
right.
mean? You know all the NA dudes.
Because Nostrand is one block over.
Yeah. You know but none of them dudes is really from Nostrand.
Right, of course
They
not.
from the end. They from Madison. They not actually.
Monroe
Got a
Gates.
few dudes that's actually live on Nostrand, but
Right.
mostly everybody live between Nostrand and Marcy. Between, and I'm
Right.
saying
Hancock, Jefferson.
they all hang on Nostrand. So
Right.
you know
And that's a
bro,
long strip.
and all of them was together back in the days.
Yeah.
So they ain't a jumping you want.
And that's what I was scared of because homie was from over there.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. But you got to think about it. In my instances, I'm in Mississippi. I don't have no other family. So if I'm fighting a dude, I gotta fight his whole family.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have
Especially if
like
you beat him up.
no cousins.
Especially if you beat him up.
No, yeah, cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And then you got to go to the store. Bro, one dude I had houses by the store.
So you had the passion.
Every day. Every day we rolling in his front yard. Literally every day we rolling in his front yard, scrapping. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to go to school and he just ain't like me for some reason. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
little kid, I'm because I'm an outsider. I wasn't born and grew up with them and all of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like this the outside kid. So I'm a mess with him. And then eventually we was cool because we played football and basketball and all that shit together. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like probably for about 3 months, nigga, we scrapping damn near every day.
Yeah, that was me in Charleston, South Carolina. Only difference was they seen I wasn't scared of nobody, like the tough dudes.
Yeah.
And they used to punk my cousin. My cousin that used to live across the street from Big. When he moved off St. James, he moved down to Charleston, South Carolina. Rest in peace to him. But when I came and I wanted to go down south because I was tired of hearing about people picking on them. And I was like, I said, Mom, can I move down south so I get a better education? Because I'm always getting in trouble in New York. Word to everything. They moved me down south. Anybody who thought it was sweet. I was on demon time. I'm from Brooklyn. And everybody was scared because I'd be right outside. We lived in the projects. I'd be outside, gutter word to everything, doing push-ups, just working out like I'm in the hood. Remember how we used to do pull-ups on the light pole? I'm down there with that New York energy. And the first person said something wrong, I was at them. They was like, yo, this little dude is crazy.
Because you got to think about it. All when we were teenagers. See, I didn't experience that until I was a teenager up here. But I see why New York dudes, like down south, dudes that have a weight pile in front of their crib. And
Yeah.
everybody be at their crib doing,
doing bench press and all that.
Yeah. Up here, it'll be all the dudes that been to Rikers Island or been up north doing pull-ups and push-ups on the corner, and you passing by these dudes. Them niggas is on super swole. You know what I'm saying? So that inspired dudes.
Everybody around.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Like CeeLo for push-ups and cars push-ups. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we stay physically in tune. And that's what I'm saying. I think, and that built our confidence up. I think a lot of dudes lack confidence because even when you look at a lot of dudes now, and not saying having muscles or being in shape makes you a better man, but it definitely increases your self-esteem because you initially think working out is challenging until you start to do it and realize you're pushing. This is you against yourself. When you really get in the mind state of working out, you realize that the only real competition you have is yourself.
Listen,
but you also getting ready for any other competition that may.
As a dude, when you see them muscles come up, you got to think about it. I play sports. You know what I mean? So you see a little bicep coming up when you a teenager, you gas.
Yeah.
You gas. But what it is I think the younger dudes, they focused on be that. So
right.
And maybe the young women don't really care. You know what I mean? Because in my time, like younger, like, oh, he built like this, or he, you know what I'm saying? That you always built like, they'll say you built like some body on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would be, oh, he looked like this, or he, you know what I mean? So that was
you too.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe dudes, they thing is the tattoos in the face. I don't know.
Yeah. It's definitely a different time and era.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But this is why these conversations are important because sometimes when you try to talk to younger people, they don't think that you've been there before. I used to always tell my children, Daddy wasn't born as a grown-up. I was a teenager before. So don't think you
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
something
No,
that
that
I
be
ain't been through. And I
but I be
always let them know I've
like,
been through worse. I kept them protected. Always let them know I kept you protected because I don't even know if you can survive the things I've been through because a lot of people haven't survived it. And that's
and
why I
I,
say what you and I
I
do is important.
chance to
Right.
try.
Exactly. Exactly. Because when people tore up the crib, you know what I'm saying, like aired out my house, that woke my mother up. Like she's like, yo, what the hell? And mind you, this was like 6 months after I already got popped. Already got popped on Clinton and Fulton. And then 6 months later, they come and hit the crib up. And it's the first time I really seen my father cry. Like, what's going on? Why they trying to kill my son? And I told him, said, Daddy, because they can't beat me. They can't beat me like a fight. These dudes ain't fighting no more. Because remember, his generation was all about fighting. Remember when we was coming up, you only really use the hammer to throw something down. You know, you most of the time,
So
if you're gonna jump with somebody,
like
you don't use
only
no.
the only people I knew that when we was younger, when I first, because I saw guns on the regular down south, but it's
Right.
mainly dudes going hunting. Or you'll see a little 25 or 38 if you sneak in a juke joint. And you got one of the
Yeah.
old timers got the shit poking out his
Shout
shirt or
out to
something.
the juke joints.
Yeah, old timers. That's that. Because I was still a teen. I still was a teenager down south as well. You know what I'm saying? I came up here when I was turning 15. You know what I mean? So, I started doing little stuff down south, but it wasn't nothing major. So, going to the juke joint, buying a tray bag. Well, that's the
Yeah.
only place you know what I'm saying? You can get a tray bag from. You know what I mean?
They say he don't even got trade bags no more.
Yeah. They got 3.5s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and look, Gutter, we blessed to be able to look back on it, and laugh about it because we still in tune, as opposed to people who just aged out and is not even aware of what's going on in the world, let alone in the community. Because sometimes you talk to some groups and dudes be oblivious to what's going on.
Yeah.
Some dudes get so old they don't have a connection with young people or even identify what young people are going through anymore. So they can't make that connection to even help them.
They don't I take it as this. I don't think they really care, like, to a degree of what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Yeah,
care, but they don't really, you know what I'm saying, care like what's going on with them, because that's why you get all the bumping heads with the older and the youngest. You know what I'm saying? The younger
yeah,
people. And it's when you don't try to understand them, that's what it is. It's not that you don't care, but they don't even try to understand them. Like,
yeah,
they how they move, or because every era is different, but it's the same too.
yeah,
Everybody got their own slang. Everybody got their own way of dressing. I'm not like the older dudes that's gonna have the crease jeans and some hard bottoms. Might not never do nothing like that.
no Niagara on the jeans. No
Yeah,
Niagara.
you dig what I'm saying? That was, but you know, I understand that's their thing. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
meet them where they at. You know what I mean? They might give me some information on some things I don't know. You know what I mean? So
right.
I ain't going. You dig what I'm saying? But I'm
Yeah,
in tune with the young dudes. I know they mostly run around with tech suits.
right.
You know
And
what I
speaking
mean?
of that, right, Gutter, because you do a lot of violence prevention work and stuff like that. How is it connecting with the young dudes and working with older dudes who may be out of tune with how to connect with the young people?
It's just really bridging it. You know what I'm saying? Being a bridge for both of them. Even though, like, when they first see me, look at my grades. So it's
Yeah, so they
obvious.
already know you're not one of the kids.
I'm an old head to them. You dig what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Until we start dialogue. You understand?
right.
Then they, oh, nah, old head.
No such
Yeah,
thing.
old head on in tune, old head in tune. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what the young dudes will say. Like, oh, all right, you in tune, you in tune. You know what I mean? So my thing was being a bridge for them and the older people that have no clue of why the little dudes is moving, how they move, and you know
right,
what I'm saying? Because they always thinking from their days.
right.
And I'm saying, yo, in my days, and and you think that you can change it back to your days. That's not gonna happen. We
Right.
got to meet them where they at and show them, like, you know what I'm saying? And like I'm always a realist. Like, listen, little homie, you do this, you continue doing this, this is gonna be the outcome. It's no
Plain
ifs,
and
ands,
simple.
buts. You know what I'm saying? Y'all talking about you in the game and you shooting, getting triple doubles and all that. I know what you're talking about,
Right.
homie.
Until I just hit you with a triple double, then you're gonna know what it is.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then when he hit you with that elbow,
exactly.
anybody that been in prison know what that elbow is.
That's that life.
Yeah.
Life.
So yeah. So you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it hit you with the plus.
Or you know, you get like the streets catch you. It ain't even the judge. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
and I was just talking about we was just talking about this yesterday, is like a lot of these, and I'm talking about the real young dudes. They, you know, they catching felonies, taking people iPhones. One, the iPhone got the air thing on it, the air tag.
So they're gonna
So
find it.
yeah, it's tracking. Then you taking it to the bump man. He know you a little dude. He's gonna beat you.
Yep.
Y'all not doing it by yourself. So it's you and your man. Y'all gonna share $100, which potentially have you in jail for a year better
Right.
because y'all that young. But you're gonna be sitting in there fighting the case and all that. Because you dig what I'm saying?
Right. Because even if you hit the person to take the phone, now you got the assault charge.
Yeah. Now you
Not even
got,
just
yeah,
robbery and assault.
yeah.
Which violence in New York State, they don't play.
So you know, just trying to convey to them is like, yo, you taking a unnecessary risk when you can go to these little workshops and do this, getting a little stipend. It ain't because a lot of little dudes like to act like they making this
Big
bank,
money.
they scamming, like everybody's scamming and making thousands of dollars. But homie, I'm a sneakerhead, and just because I know the way they you know gravitate towards me is because they see, oh, now
Kicks.
old head fly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, like he, because they always look at me up and down like, yo, who is this old nigga? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because he don't look like the old nigga that I'm used to seeing that would look. You know what I'm saying? The bald head, gray facial hair. You know what I mean? But I'm not dressed like he would assume. I don't got the suit
Right.
on. You know what I'm saying?
Slacks, shoes.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have that. You know what I'm saying? I'm dressed like them.
Like them. Yeah.
You know what
I'm
I'm
from
saying?
the soil.
Yeah. So when I'm saying it's like, bro, you got them same Balenciagas for 2 years, you're not. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking note of this. I'm not, I'm not going to tell that to him
Right.
because I don't want to force him in his ego to go and do something rash because I just said something about his
By his
kicks.
Balenciagos. Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm knowing it's like, bro, you're not making the money that,
Fronting.
yeah. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? You want to make, but bro, you taking this risk. You could take these workshops and you'll get a stipend every 2 weeks,
And
150.
as well as a skill.
Yeah, and you getting certificates or whatever. So it's not hustling money, but bro, you're not hustling. You're running around trying to take petty stuff.
You petty thief.
Yeah, which we all were when we was little.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
So
I done stuck a dude up for less than $20. Young,
I don't
stupid.
want to tell some of the
And
stories, but
he
I was
looked
disappointed.
no, bro.
Yeah.
Dead ass. Like he
I'm
he
not
got
disagreeing.
he got
Yeah.
he got the and you know he got jewelry. It was fake, of course. You know what I'm saying? When I book him, me not knowing, like this, is what I'm saying,
Right.
being young and ignorant, not knowing. I don't even know at this time.
Jury's fake. He ain't really got no
Yeah,
money.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking I'm gonna come up on the jewelry and all blah 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 blah. Stick them 20 something out.
That's when
Not
Midtown
even
became
20 out.
valuable.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Not even $20.
Yeah.
Or I robbed this man for really a pie pizza and food and a tray bag to, you know.
Yeah. In the manila envelope.
And
Yeah.
that's what a lot of the young, like, they don't realize the risk that they taking for
Nothing.
that, for nothing.
Really nothing.
Yeah.
If you
And
get 3 years for
it's
$40,
desperation.
$50, that ain't nothing.
And it's desperation because we coming from abject,
I,
abject people.
yeah.
I mean, or and it might not even be that. Is you following something that from the periphery, you with it, but you ain't really with it.
Right. Because when it comes to that big lick, you
No,
hesitate.
when it come to really being involved in that life, you like it from the periphery.
Right. Okay, I see what you mean.
You're
Yeah.
not in that life.
You're not in it.
You got a lot of kids now that's not really from that life. They don't have the
But it's
struggles.
glorified. Right.
Them personally don't have the struggles that other kids have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now I know exactly what you mean. Like the kids who don't have to do it, but because they see the kids in their class or around their way doing it, they think they got to do it to be down. I know
Exactly.
exactly what you mean. Because in each of
They
our generations,
they
it was
and yeah, every my generation as well. It's
that's
like
what I'm saying. All of our
I had
generations.
a yeah, I had a dude, bro. His parents owned a clothing store. This nigga was dipped every day. But
And want to be outside with dudes.
you want to boost.
And your parents will give you whatever you want. You can just ask for it. My mom, my family was so poor. You might get beat asking for something that costs a certain amount. Like, who you think got $100 for what? If you don't get out my face.
$100. Bro, you got to remember, I'm from the era when Pumas was $36.99. They was 40. I can't remember the exact joint with tax. Shot down numerous times.
Yeah.
Only time I got them back to school.
Yeah.
But just seeing them in the store, I'm like, yo, mom's looking at me like, where you think
I
that's going
perfected
to?
my hustle. I perfected my hustle gutter with that. With the sneakers, $60. I tell my mother, how much you gonna pay? Mom, just give me 20. I'm gonna get the rest from my grandparents. Go to my grandma, sneakers I want cost $20. My mother just gave me 20. Can I get 20 for you? Then I go to my grandfather,
Yes,
get
you know
another
how to
20.
work your family. I ain't see. We
Yeah,
ain't have,
yeah.
had
I
that
have
luxury.
to. You know
I
why?
ain't had
Because I was a good kid in the house. I always respected my elders.
But I ain't had that
We was
luxury. It's
outside. I
like
was out my mind.
family is all over they not right there. So I
Right.
can't shoot over here at
Yeah.
your house and get some money or shoot over here. Like family is different states, all type. That's not happening. So if
Yeah.
Mom Dukes don't have it, you know what I was doing.
Go get it.
Yes, sir.
Or, I mean, gotta look. We winded down the town, yo. This 2
Yeah,
hours flew by.
yeah.
I
Um,
know you got some things to do. I got some things to do.
yeah,
But I want people to walk away. We started this conversation with talking about visiting Africa. If you ever get the opportunity, we just want to share some of the street knowledge we have. You got young people, teenagers, this is a conversation they might want to tap into. You ain't got to show them the whole thing because I know a lot of people tune in for the nostalgia of it all because y'all are from our era. Some of y'all, and for the most part of it, we just trying to save lives, man. We just don't want our young people to go down the path we have. Because, like I said, Gutter and myself are fortunate to be here because we've lost childhood friends during our childhood to the streets and things like that. And we don't want it for the ones coming behind us. Definitely don't want it for your children. Don't want it for our children. But as a village, it's the only way we're going to move the community forward because we fighting an uphill battle with the misinformation and the false images about what it is to be black in America. So that's why me and my man Gutter here,
it is to
let
be black. Period.
yeah, yeah,
We
black
got
period,
we
right?
gotta. That's what I'm saying. Like when I was speaking on the situation with education, it's like the steps that they taking is not for us in particular.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They have a particular because they know, bro. It's like if they know because they know the the power we have and we don't know. You know what I'm saying? As a
Yeah,
collective. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we get pushed to the wall, you see what we do. You see the ingenuity we come up with and the things that we able to create to help our advancement. You know what I'm saying? So we got to think about it. We came out of slavery. Majority of us were literally couldn't read and write.
right.
I say good 90%.
And we still had this working for us.
Because we couldn't read and write because we were literate of the English language. That didn't take away from our intelligence.
There you go.
And we still taught each other.
Yeah,
You dig what I'm saying? We still taught each other. So they know it's like if we're put into an adverse situation, we're able to learn. It's not going to take away our intellect, but what
right.
it will do is it'll make the roadblocks even bigger for us and basically make us extinct in America as far as a political force. Dig what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
so these people have no reason to even care about us. And then the people that's coming in could look at how they look at us because they don't have a context to look in. Oh, why y'all in that position? You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
what I was saying.
Nah, I agree 100%, bro. So salute to everybody who tuned in today. Shout out to everybody on IG. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. We appreciate y'all all for tapping in. Sister Aruba, yes, I do remember the sneaker factory on Park Slope. I think it was Lincoln between 6th and 7th. Yeah, I remember that. You remember that store, Gutter? The sneaker factory out on Park Slope. They had the sneakers on the table and all that. Yeah, we ain't really had
That's
no.
see, I was staying down south then. That was like the 70s. That was like
Yeah, in the 80s. They I think they closed like the late 80s. Well,
see that's the one I think people was telling me they was getting the 69ers and the Pro
mhm.
Cad and all of
Yep,
those. Yeah.
exactly. You
But I
got it.
just didn't like I wasn't like I was down south. I'm quite sure some of the Pro Cats and 69s I got when I was down south came off that table.
Yeah.
My family that was up here when I was down south, they would keep me up on,
Right. Send you some stuff
I would
that
get a few, yeah, I get a few items from New York, so I'll be looking like I'm, you know, on point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sister Farnessa, I may go back to Africa this summer. I'm gonna call my Eileen later on this evening. We're gonna work out the logistics, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna just
I'm
go
thinking
out there to
about.
work things out.
I'm probably, man. I don't see. That's the thing. The whole thing is, I I want to go to LAF.
Where's
That's
that?
that's in Nigeria.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So, family, again, we thank y'all for tuning in with us. We catch y'all next Sunday at 2 p.m. Tell a friend, tell a
It's a
friend.
few
Like,
spots I want to
subscribe,
go
and
to.
share. That's what we need y'all to do. We trying to get up to 1,000, from 1,000 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 50, 50 to 100, and let us
Slow
take
grind.
it from there. All right.
Yeah.
So, like, subscribe, share.
Yeah.
Oh, and go check out the interview with DJ Enough. Put that up the other day. Go check that out. You can check out our interview with our brother Mbwebe in Shangi. That was 2 weeks ago. Look out for Milk D and Dad Press coming soon, as well as Chip Fu and a few other folks. It's already in the gun, cocked and loaded. All right. So we thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. We see y'all next week. Got it?
Peace.
Peace.